U.S. small business optimism fell to the lowest level in a decade last month. Now, this is according to a business optimism index by the National Federation of Independent Business. So here to talk to me about the index is Holly Wade, Executive Director of nfib's Research Center. Now, Holly, I guess the most important question I should ask is, are small businesses making money, right, according to the index?
Yes. So according to the index, small business optimism has deteriorated from March to April. They're making money. Sales have held up okay over the last few months. However, inflation is eating into those earnings. Increased compensation is eating into those earnings. And so they're struggling to pass along those costs and remain competitive in this environment. So inflation, unfortunately, is still part of the equation, and it's really impacting those small businesses.
Now, is that the biggest reason that small businesses are concerned about? Is that the top reason or among the top reasons?
It's one of the two. So the two largest concerns of small business owners currently, about a quarter of them are saying their top concern is inflation. And another quarter of them are saying that labor quality or the tight labor market is their top concern. So those have been the two for really about the last year or so that have been the biggest challenges for small business owners in operating their business.
So when we're talking about quality of labor, are we talking about that it's hard to find qualified people or just hard to find people in general?
So kind of one and the same. They have a lot of unfilled job openings that they are unable to find applicants to interview, to hire. And so that has become one of their biggest challenges. We still have historically high levels of small business owners saying that they have an unfilled job opening. And when we ask them if they've had any applicants, few or none, still large numbers of them are saying that they are receiving no applications for those open positions, or for many of them, very few. So the tight labor market is absolutely impacting them still, and they're still looking to hire.
I see. And maybe this leads into my next question, which could have an impact on GDP. So are businesses spending on investment or expanding operations?
So capital spending has increased a bit over the last few months. And so that seems to be relatively okay or stable. So they are spending money when they need to, related to, new equipment, replacing furniture, those sorts of things. But when we ask them about expansion, if it's a good time to expand, very few are saying expansion opportunities or that the current environment is helpful for expanding, mostly because of not being able to hire or fill those positions that they currently have. And so expansion opportunities are fairly limited. But where they can make improvements, where they can streamline operations as far as purchasing equipment, they are doing that.
I see. So in terms of expansion, does that have to do with more on the labor side or credit conditions? Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So likely it has more to do with the labor side, not being able to increase those supply. A lot of small businesses are still reporting that they have supply chain issues. And so that's also an impediment to expansion. Credit conditions, while few more are saying that it is more difficult, it doesn't seem to be a significant problem for small businesses right now. They are saying that they're having to pay more, certainly, for financing with the increase in interest rates. But as far as availability, that doesn't seem to be kind of a top concern at the moment. So that's good news for the small business sector.
All right, Holly, maybe just one more question. With the Fed raising interest rates and the recent banking turmoil, how does all this play into small businesses?
Certainly. So we just released last week a banking survey of small business owners, asking them specifically about how they're banking, if they've talked to their bank, and they are concerned about the stability of the banking system. Many of them have talked with their banker who they have business relationships with, and many of them said that their bank has reached out to them. While they haven't switched banks or have changed operations in that area significantly, they are concerned, and that is having an impact on kind of optimism going forward.
All right, thanks, Holly. Pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you.
The nfib Research Center has collected small business economic trends data with quarterly surveys since the fourth quarter of 1973 and monthly surveys since 1986. Survey respondents are randomly drawn from nfib's membership.